What's up guys, I'm Cooper Abercrombie. Today I'm going to show you how we make our smoked and fried hot honey chicken. Go Cowboys. All right, so first step in getting a great hot honey smoky fried chicken is actually having a chicken. So I went ahead and already took a whole chicken, got it ready to go because you guys flamed me in the comments last time about how I don't know how to actually spatchcock a chicken. So I'm not going to do it again for you guys. We're getting them seasoned up. I've got my Rio Seasonal and our Rio 60 Mesh Black Pepper. As always, we're going to go black pepper first. Don't have to go as heavy as a brisket. I'm not trying to get this thing super, super dark. We're going to fight the wind a little bit too. And then we've got our seasoned salt. Fight the wind, fight the wind, fight the wind. Cool, that side's done. Now, when I flipped it over, I did notice a little bit of the skin hanging off on the bottom side. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of clean up my edges. Is it 100% necessary? No, but I like having nice, clean, aesthetically looking, pleasing things. So now I will say, guys, use whatever seasoning you want to. If you've got your favorite rub, definitely use that. But whatever you do, always go your pepper first. If we go salt first, it's gonna hit the skin, activate, and start forming like a wet barrier. Then there's a good chance that peppers never actually get to sit and season and stay on that actual protein. So by going pepper first, we allow ourselves to leave room for the salt to penetrate, activate, and kind of let both components bind onto the actual protein. All right, so stage one, I've got this thing ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna let this sit on the board for probably about 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on how much stuff I got going on right now. I'm gonna work on getting the smoker behind me ready and up to temp. We're gonna try and cruise somewhere between like 225 and 250 for probably an hour, hour and a half, maybe bump to 275 depending on how color's looking, how everything's coming along. Once we hit an internal temp in that breast of like 150, 155, we'll then go ahead and get our fryer ready to rock and roll because we are gonna flash fry these. We'll flash fry them. We're gonna dunk them in that hot honey sauce we're gonna make later on in the video. And then we're gonna put them back on the smoker with a real clean fire to set and kind of tack up this sauce we're about to make. So stay tuned. So while that chicken's waiting for the salt to kind of activate, you're ready to go on the smoker, we're gonna go ahead and get the smoker fired up. Fortunately enough, we are in Tool, Texas today at M&M Barbecue Company, and they have loaned us to use the Texas Smoke King, their newest backyard pit. It's an awesome pit. It's been one of my favorite pits to play on. I have their Goldie's M&M offset at the restaurant. We use it, almost daily in our classes. And I can honestly say this one cooks just as well as the backyard one, and as well as the rotisserie we have as well. So everything those guys have pumped out, I've thoroughly enjoyed using, and it's been a great asset to us at Bar-A. We're gonna get the pit fired up. We're gonna go ahead and light our coal bed. We've got a bag of some Kingsford match light here. It's just a much easier, simpler way to get the fire started. We'll get this match light going. We'll grab some post oak. We'll kind of talk about the wood and the fire style, and we'll get it ready to rock and roll for the chicken. So we are in kind of central East Texas here. Our native wood is obviously post oak. Use what's native to your area. Use what's regionality you have. Don't go buy expensive post oak from Texas if you're in New England. You have an amazing product already there in your backyard. Use that. Take, what we're showing you today, this Texas style chicken, and, use your spin and put your flavor profile on that product. So one of my favorite features about this backyard pit is the notch system. We're gonna go ahead and rock about halfway open today. It is chicken, so I want it to be a little bit hotter. I think we're gonna go ahead and rock about 250, 275 right off the bat with a little bit of smoke. We are running what I call a bundle fire. We're gonna have those logs kind of stacked on top of the coals where it's a little bit harder for the fire to breathe right off the bat. We're gonna let that do that until it burns down the coals. We're then gonna rebuild our fire in a more traditional kind of open flame fire setup where it'll be two on the side, one, maybe two on top, but nice and spaced out. Real quick, easy fire to breathe while keeping our stack shut at 50% the entire cook. So with the chicken on the smoker, it's fired up, it's ready to rock and roll. I've got them seasoned, the salt is activated. We're at the point now where we can put these things on the actual cooker. So I'm gonna be rocking closest to the firebox. Now, it's not a massive difference in temp swings from here to there, but this is nearest my exchange. So I wanna get this chicken as, basically as hot as we can to kind of help dry out, crisp up that skin as best as we can, even though we're gonna flash fry it, because you know, if I waste much time here and cook too low and I still have a bunch of soggy skin, there's a chance when I go to flash fry it, it might not get the crispiness that we want before we dunk it. So breast to the firebox. It's our thickest part of the chicken. Always put your thickest part of any protein closest to your exchange where your main heat source is coming from. That should help us kind of even out this cook. So we're gonna rock about 250, 275-ish, somewhere between there. Temps aren't that big of a deal, guys. 250, 275 on this pit, maybe way different than 250, 275 heat-wise on your pit. So we just want this to be a little bit of a hotter cook, but not, you know, 300 plus too hot. So we're gonna rock those temps and we should be good to go. All right, so with our hot honey sauce, guys, I've got a little stock pot here. I've got my electric stove kind of getting ready to rock and roll to put this on there. I've got my ACV, I've got my ketchup, I've got my honey in my stock pot. I just kind of stirred it up. I'll have all the, you know, the measurements in the description down below, so don't get caught up in that right now. But really how I make it, guys, I put my wet ingredients, my ketchup, ACV, honey in there at one time. And I kind of start with the measurements of ACV, but sometimes I want it more loose, sometimes I want it more, you know, thick. And so I might add a little bit more as I go, and depending on what the sauce needs at that point. So I'm then gonna throw them on top of the stove. I'm gonna let this warm up, and then I'm gonna add all of our dry ingredients in there, combine them, let it reduce just a touch, and then we're ready to rock and roll. All right, so I have my stove top on about a low to medium heat. I don't wanna get it too hot. If we get this too hot, there's a chance we burn the sugar. So just take your time, let it go kind of low, medium, stirring every now and then so nothing sticks or burns to the bottom. And when we start to see a little bit of kind of the heat start to get rolling, we'll then add the dry ingredients, stir them till they're nice and incorporated, bring it to just before a boil, and then we'll cut the heat, pull it off, let it sit. All right, so we're starting to get a little bit of heat now, a little bit of steam coming up. We're going to add in our brown sugar, get that nice and stirred in. This is when you really want to make sure you're stirring. It's nice and incorporated. Now we put all of our dry ingredients in there. And again, we're going to have the description down below of the measurements we used. If you want more of a much, much hotter sauce than just up your cayenne, up your red chili flake, believe it or not, I'm a big fat baby. I don't like it real hot, so I didn't use a ton of it. Now I'm going to turn the heat down pretty low and just let it simmer for a while. And then we'll check back in just a bit. All right, our sauce has been cooking for about 20 minutes now. It's nice and reduced. We're gonna go ahead and get it poured up into a mason jar. And we're gonna let it chill out on the counter until we're ready to dunk the bird. And once again, guys, we want to thank M&M for letting us use their kitchen today. These guys have been awesome, letting us pretty much walk in anywhere we need to and shoot whatever we want to have. So Mike and the boys, thank y'all. Once again, you guys have been awesome to work with. All right, so step one in actually making a mac and cheese is you have to actually have cheese and noodles. I've already got the water boiling, kind of save some time with us. I've got about 1.5 pounds of noodles in there, boiling away. We're gonna pull those when they're just, you know, what do they say, al dente or whatever, I don't know, just before they're fully done. So I went ahead and got 2 sticks of butter melted. So we're not really gonna make an actual, like, I'm not gonna say it right, but I'm from Montgomery, Texas, but a bechamel or whatever. We're not really making that. We're making what Grandma used to make, and that is what we call as tater base. So basically, we're gonna take sour cream, cream of chicken, whole milk, butter, and then some salt, pepper, garlic. We're gonna combine all those together to make our base. We're then gonna throw in our al dente noodles into a pan. We'll add our base, mix our cheese in there, and then we're gonna actually smoke it. Let's get to it. I've got just enough sour cream to make Grandma happy. We're gonna use about half this can of cream of chicken, and then we're gonna pour in our milk to get the consistency we want. I'm looking for it to be somewhat thick. We want it to be able to kind of hold to the whisk, because we're gonna go for a really nice, kind of creamy mac, but kind of a loose cream. So I'm gonna add a little bit more milk. This is whole milk because there is no other milk. Anything else other than that is not real milk. This is really kind of a preference thing for how thick you want this. Again, we want it thicker than milk, but not so thick that it's just like, you know, gonna be clumpy on our whisk. I feel like if you make it just a touch too thin at this point, it's okay, because it will thicken up a little bit once we smoke it or bake it during that process, because the noodles as well are gonna soak up some of this moisture in this. I've got it about where I want it. So I'm looking for just enough to kind of start to vaguely see the lines as I whisk it. That tells me that, all right, I'm about at that point. But if I was to whisk and they were to stay there for several seconds, and I know like it's too thick. All right, so I'm gonna add in as much pepper as I want. I'm pretty heavy-handed though, so I'm gonna put in a good bit, in my opinion, of there. I'm also gonna go in and put in our granulated garlic. All right, we're gonna put in a little bit of salt as well. I'm always a believer in just maybe with sauces and stuff, kind of just slightly under salt up front. That way you can, you know, if you need to, you can add more after the fact. It's kind of hard to fix something that's been over salted. All right, and that is kind of what we're looking for. I would say it's probably pretty close to like maybe a ranch style dressing type consistency, maybe a little bit looser than that. That's al dente. Is it really al dente? I have no idea. It's just not all the way done yet. So that's where we're gonna pull it at. Go ahead and get our al dente nudes put into the dish. All right, now you don't have to do it in this order, but this is the way I do it every day at the restaurant. So I'm gonna go ahead and do our cheese first while the noodles are still pretty hot. Kind of let those hot noodles kind of help us melt some of that cheese and incorporate that in there. And there it is, there's mac and cheese. I'm just f***ing with you, that's not mac and cheese. There are people out there that's mac and cheese to them. Don't be that person. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add our grandma's tater base to it. Looking at this, I don't see enough black pepper, so I'm gonna go ahead and add more black pepper to it. It is a fairly rich sauce, so the black pepper just kind of help cut through some of that richness. All right, this is ready. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it. We're gonna throw it on the smoker. I've got it fired up at like 275-ish right now. I'm gonna cover it for about 20-25 minutes, and then I'm gonna add some cheese over the top of it, just a little bit, and we're gonna leave it uncovered and kind of get some of that smoke effect to that top layer. All right, so this mac and cheese is ready to rock and roll. I just went and checked it out. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off, get it topped with a thin layer of cheese, then torch it up, give it a nice golden brown crust. Our chicken is also ready to be pulled off and flash fried, so let's get that done. What is this, Lubbock, this wind? This is freaking ridiculous out here right now. I thought this was East Texas. So either way, we're gonna make, I don't know, we're gonna make the best of it. So get this cheese on here. Kraft cheese, if you wanna sponsor me, let me know. I think I have the body image of what you're looking for. I'm a Kraft cheese abuser. Doesn't take much, guys, just enough to put a thin layer on there. We're gonna get our handy dandy professional chef's torch. All right, we're gonna torch it up. I'm probing right in the thickest part of the breast, guys. I'm looking for around 150, 155. We were sitting at 154. So I'm gonna get them pulled off. We've got our fryer up to temp. I'm gonna show you that process next. We've got the fryer ready to rock and roll. I put in some peanut oil. Why peanut oil? I don't know. I heard Chick-fil-A uses it, and I'm a massive Chick-fil-A fan. So went to my local store, picked up a couple gallons of peanut oil, threw it in the Bayou Classic fryer over here. I'm gonna flash fry these at 350. They're gonna go in for only about 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. Not gonna take super long, just enough to kind of really cook and crisp up that skin. We'll pull them out, dunk them in that hot honey sauce, and show you the finished product. On the dot, 3.5 minutes in the flash fryer at 350. Got this beautiful golden color now. This skin looks fantastic. It's super nice and crispy. This is gonna be so freaking good. Y'all ready? Let's dunk it. We've got them dunked. Let's go ahead and get them back on the pit. We'll let this glaze set up, get a little bit tacky, and then we're good to go. Fortunately, when you're at, a barbecue headquarters like M&M, there's pits everywhere. We have this one already fired up. It's a different backyard pit, but it's the same thing. I've got it sitting at about 225 right now, really, really clean and smoke. We'll put these on there, give them 3, 4, 5 minutes, ready to rock and roll. Finally, it's all done. The mac is done, the chicken is done. My favorite part, let's try this food. This is Grandmama's mac right here. Nice and creamy. If you don't like that, we can't be friends. It's just the plain out truth. Plus, I think Grandma will be pretty upset with me if you don't like her cooking. That's a good rule to live by. No matter what, if your grandma cooks you food, just say it's the best food in the world, okay? Don't piss off Grandma. All right, smoked, fried, hot honey chicken. Let's tear that leg up out of there. That's hands down the best sauce chicken I've ever had in my life. And we make sauce chicken every day at Bar-A. I've never done the hot honey. That is fantastic. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless.